Hello everyone, thank you for joining me on the first episode of Vegan Police TV. In this episode I wanted to share my thoughts on the leaders of the vegan movement, the status of the vegan movement, and some comments about social media. Now, heading off the first one, the leaders of the vegan movement. Now, my thoughts are, and I'm sure that many will disagree with me here, and some will agree with me as well, is that there are no leaders of the vegan movement because there is no vegan movement. Sure, there are a few, what would you say, social media personalities who like to use veganism to promote their brand. Whether they can be called leaders, that is highly debatable because they aren't leading anything. They're just doing things to promote their brand. Now, and this is the other thing too, is that for these people to claim to be leaders of a movement or to be identified as leaders of the vegan movement, there needs to be a vegan movement, and there isn't. What there is there's a whole lot of little different cliques that like to use the veganism brand. There's, as we know, the Raw Till 4 clique, and all the groupies that follow that. That is about as close to veganism as as someone following a plant-based diet, because all they really talk about is their whole sharing food. Now, and this is the other thing too, there is no such thing as a vegan diet. There is a plant-based diet. If you follow a vegan diet, what you're doing is you're following a plant-based diet. If what veganism is it's a philosophy, it's a way of living your life. It is it could even be classed as a lifestyle choice, because you're living your life without the use or the exploitation of animals as far as practicable and as far as possible. Now, this is the thing. I was having a look at one of the YouTube channels recently, and they picked on Charles, the vegan cheater, because he happened to buy noodles that the flavor satchel contained, in this big scheme of things, a minute amount of animal products. He didn't consume that product. He threw it out. Now, to that point, is that he's not being classed as someone vegan because he purchased an animal product. Is that true? Is that not? Well, and then you compare that. Personally, my thoughts are that, hey, he didn't consume it. Just because he bought something that had an animal product in it doesn't mean to say that he's not vegan. If you compare it to the other one, the self-described vegan strategist, who is formerly known as vegan sapiosexual, Tobias Leinart. Now, he classes wine as a grey area. Now, he knowingly consumes a product that has a product that contains animal products. So, as most of you know, wine is cleared or fined using isinglass and sometimes dairy. Now, he knowingly consumes that, yet he still likes to identify himself as vegan because he's more pragmatic, and he doesn't want absolutes and all those sort of other wanky terms that he likes to classify and use as loopholes to get out of actually following the philosophy of being vegan. Now, this is the thing. If you're going to criticize Charles for not being vegan because he bought a flavor sachet and how much animal products is in that, then the other thing that you need to look at is, what are the animal products in the phone that you're using? What are the animal products in the book that you buy? What, the shoes that you wear, are they all 100% plant-based glues? Are they all, are the books whatever? And this is the thing, is this is where the people that take it to this degree. Now, personally myself, I won't buy things like that. I don't go to the point of not buying things that have the little may contain disclaimer on it, because I think that for me is being a little bit too restrictive, because from my understanding of it, that all that means is that the machinery that they use to process or to create that product may have had animal product, an animal-based product before, and a product containing animal products go through it before. So technically, while there isn't animal products in the item that you're buying, it may contain traces, because due to the way that modern machinery works and automation with food products. So this is the thing, is that does that make it not vegan, or does that make it vegan? If it contains animal products, then theoretically or ideally it's not suitable for vegans. You know, and this is the bit as far as practicable. Now, yes, you know, the tyres that I buy for the car, this car I purchased second hand. It has leather seats and a leather seat belt. I'm using something that's got animal products. Am I going to be branded as not vegan for driving that? Well, hey, if you want to do it, go for it. You know, personally, I challenge you to have a crack at me about that. You know, I'm open for it. I didn't, you know, it's not possible to buy this model of vehicle without, on the second-hand market, without having leather seats. Even if you buy it new, which from my understanding is that even the new model of this vehicle still has leather seats in it. Is it practical to buy it? Should I buy something else? Well, that comes, you know, that'll be a decision I have to make when it comes time to buy a new vehicle. So yeah, and this is going back off on a different sidetrack. The vegan movement. There is no vegan movement. There's a whole lot of identities. There's Francione and his little group. Is it a cult? Well, hey, if you describe Camp Francione as a cult, then you have to describe the Royal Falls as a cult. You have to describe Australia's Animal Liberation groupies as a cult as well. For me, this is I do choose to not use the term cult, because I think that takes the power away from the people that are in it, and it sort of otherizes them and demonizes those who are involved in it. You know, I think that the people that are at the forefront of it, encouraging others to be involved in it, they have a lot to answer for, because they don't, encourage their members to do the right thing. They don't encourage those who are following it to behave rationally, in an open-minded way, and to consider everything else. It is just that the personalities that are at the head of these cliques, their word is gospel. I'm sure by now we've all seen the clip where Harley, tells another member of the Raw Till 4 clique to ignore what everyone else says, to only listen to the directors, to listen to the king and queen. That, to me, that is something concerning. And this is the other thing, is that, you know, there's no leaders of it. Yes, they are YouTube personalities. It can be argued, is YouTube activism? I mean, is being on YouTube, is it activism? Yes, it's getting the word vegan out there, and technically that can be classed as vegan education. Is making people all aware of vegan related things. Is it activism? My thoughts are no, because there was a study that was an abstract that was presented at the Animal Science something or another. I'll include a link to the to that abstract in the notes for this, where it actually said that social media has no impact on a meat eater's willingness to change, because a lot of them, if they see something promoted by a vegan, then they automatically dismiss it, because vegans are obviously known to be biased because they want to push that lifestyle message. The only way that it does have a bit more weight is if it comes from a personal member or someone that they respect. Now, we all know people like Leanne and Harley, they go out with their extreme ways of doing things. Whether that's social media activism, not, whether that's acceptable by people that haven't considered veganism in the past, is highly debatable. I would like to see, some sort of definitive idea on the amount of people that they are able to bring over to veganism. And the other thing is too, are they bringing them over to veganism, or are they bringing them over to their plant-based lifestyle, or their little Raw Till 4 lifestyle? And that's the other thing. There's more to veganism than just, eating bananas and going to restaurants. Veganism has so much related to do with it. It is a social justice movement, and this is something that we need to start focusing more on. So before I get onto that platform and that soapbox of mine, I'd just sort of like to share my thoughts. As I said, I don't think there's such a thing as social media identities. They are social media identities. I don't think that they are leaders of the vegan movement. They shouldn't be classed as such. They shouldn't be identified as such. And with some of the antics that these people have and are going through and are condoning, and even other personalities that are enabling these people, it detracts from the vegan message, because they're more worried about what these people are doing. Like these YouTube people, they're more worried about getting people to view their YouTube channel. If people don't view their YouTube channel, they don't get paid. If they don't get paid, well, theoretically, that's it. They've got to find something else to do. So that's not social media activism. All that is using clickbait to get people to view your channel, to get people to view your things. Myself, yeah, I've monetized this, but that's because that I'm using the money raised from this to fund the not-for-profit, which is the Australian Vegan Foundation that I've started. My income comes from other sources. I don't use any money raised from this for my personal income. It all goes back into the non-profit. Might have a bit of a discussion about that and let you know all about that one later on. So anyway, about to wrap it up for this one. As I said, there's no vegan movement. So if there's no vegan movement, there's no vegan leader. There's no leaders of the vegan movement. So I think we need to stop referring to these people as such. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to having you join me on the next one. So bye for now.